Hello Internet, Mike Bertolini here, back playing Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York. It has been a very long time since I've played this game. Even going back through my YouTube channel, looking back to see how long it's been since I've recorded one of these videos. It has been months upon months. So I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm gonna jump right on in. If you like this sort of content, like, leave a comment below, subscribe, all those good things. Let's get on into it. All right. So just so that everyone watching is aware, I am not going to be trying to recreate the voices I did the last time I played. And that was fun and interesting and all, but one, I'd have to go back and try to remember how I did those voices. And two, I just don't really have the energy right now. It's holiday season right now when I'm playing this, and my body is just tired. You know, working in retail, it's an exhausting proposition. Knowing there are only so many places with a good enough view of the Manhattan Bridge, you decide to check the ones that are likely to be crowded at this time of night. It doesn't take long before you hit the jackpot, Jane's Carousel. As you're walking along the pier, you notice a lonely figure sitting on the bench, steel flask in hand, his legs up on the railing. Soon enough, you hear a familiar voice. Everything turned to night, and as the final flickering rays of sunlight gave way to the kind nocturnal shadows, so did the last of the jabbering tourists give way to a blessed silence. And yet, I couldn't shake the feeling. Pausing mid-sentence, he leans back over the bench, backless and looks straight at you. Upside down, his face was even creepier than usual. And I wasn't alone. A flask. Is that what I think it is? Depends on what you think. It's a little something from my private reserve. I call it the Drunken Sailor, because that's probably where it came from. He takes a sip, then points the flask in your general direction. Want some? Sure, why not? Take the flask and take a swig. It's blood all right, mixed with other frivolous substances, some of which you recognize, while others you probably don't want to know. That's the spirit. Now that you're good and sauced, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. There's been another one. Killing, I mean, down by the docks. Same MO, blood, the graffiti. Yup, Zargal, alright. Victim sucked dry, same as before. Another sign on the wall. Something about impending doom and, oh lord, he coming. Particulars escaped me. You know, the night I saw her, she looked so frail, so innocent. Deep inside, I was hoping she'd be spooked, get out of town, that maybe, just maybe, that would be the end of it. But that's me, you know, hopelessly optimistic. Okay, so what's the plan? The plan is... He stops mid-sentence, taking a swig of courage, of liquid courage. We stop her, at any cost. I'd rather it not involve killing the girl, but I'm starting to think that ship has already sailed. Another swig. You're not sure how much of this is genuine and how much is an act, but still, it's starting to worry you a bit. So anyway, I've set up a meeting, neutral ground, public space. Shouldn't get too ugly. Still, was hoping you could tag along. Okay, so who are we meeting? He takes another compulsive swig. Better strap in, because this one's a doozy. Oh, come on. Can't be that bad. Who are we meeting? Valerie. I'm sorry, I must have misheard you. Want to try that again? I know how it sounds. Listen, kid. I know you two didn't exactly hit it off, but she's not as bad as you might think. I mean, in some respects, she's probably worse, but she can be reasoned with. Once again, he goes for the flask, but stops himself mid-motion. Look, the way I see it, we ain't got a choice. Much as I want to help Santa, there's clearly a few bats short of a belfry. More people are going to die unless we do something about it. Alright, fine. I get it. Lesser of two evils. Lead the way then. I like your attitude, kid. I know it sucks, but hey, there's one thing life has taught me. You don't always get what you want. Noticeably proud of his words of wisdom, he tries to top him off with one last swig. A single drop falls between his crooked teeth. He looks at the empty flask with the utmost contempt. Well, ain't that fucking poignant. Muttering a curse under his breath, he makes a valiant effort to get up off the bench. He staggers, struggling to remain upright, you offer your shoulder to lean on. He shoots you a smile that's as crooked as it is affectionate. Hey, kid. He was gaze, trying to look friendly rather than condescending. You're alright. With that heartfelt moment, you bid adieu to the sprawling vista and make your way towards the bridge. Next stop, Manhattan. Entering the park from Midtown Manhattan, you promptly take a spot by one of the alleys, not very deep into the park. Minutes pass. 5, 10, 15. Start to wonder if she's even going to show up. Suddenly, you hear a familiar voice, but with an unfamiliar tone. She sounds almost nice. Hello, Ginny. There she is, walking along the side of the fountain. She looks less out of place here than back at that junkie-infested hovel, but only by a slight margin. It tells you there are only so many places she would feel at home, probably not ones you would want to find yourself in. Val. She glances over at you, barely noting your presence. Sorry about last time. Nothing personal, you understand? But when I get caught up in the moment, I can get a bit intense. I can attest to that. Very nice, you two. We have some business to discuss. All work and no play, huh? Why not? He turns to D'Angelo and flutters her eyelashes. You can tell she doesn't see you as her equal. This come hither routine is getting kind of unnerving. Lay it on me, sugar. We're here to talk about Santa. Who? Oh, right, the thin blood. What about her? The girl's a threat. We need to find her. We could do it faster if we work together. Uh-huh. Keep going, honey, because I have a feeling there's a catch coming on. The catch is... Awkward silence. It's not often you see him at a loss for words. Seeing him struggle, you decide to jump in. We want the girl to stay alive. See, now that's a deal breaker right there, sugar. If you want me to even consider it, you have to sweeten the pot. Once again, she turns to D'Angelo. And I bet tall, dark, and handsome over here might have some ideas. Tell her what you want. Oh, you're no fun anymore. She wants a higher profile target to show off to the prince what a good little scourge she is. All you care about nowadays, huh? Playing the game, climbing the ranks. A smile creeps into her lips. You can tell it's forced. D'Angelo definitely knows how to get under her skin. That's my Ginny. A big old brain and a heart to match. Once again, she turns to you. I knew right away he'd try to help this girl. He does love him a damsel in distress. But you, I'm still not sure what your angle is. What do you care? I don't, honey. Not really. It's called making conversation. So there, you know my terms. Contact me when you've made up your mind. Don't take too long, though. I'm a lucky girl. I might just find your little thin blood on my own. Still, I hope we can work together. We did make a good team back in the day, didn't we? Slowly, seductively, she puts her arms around his shoulders. She lets it over to you, clearly enjoying how awkward it makes you feel. We get back to you wanting to rip my head off, because that was actually way less uncomfortable. Careful what you wish for. Anyway, withdrawing from the strange half-embrace, she flicks D'Angelo's nose gently with her index finger. Almost instantly, she turns from flirtatious to dispassionate. However this plays out, I have a feeling we'll meet again, sooner than later. Until then... Without sparing another glance, she disappears down an unlit park alley. D'Angelo watches her go, the look on his face a mixture of longing and guilt. It's borderline comical. Finally, he turns back towards you, as if breaking some spell he was under. Well, that could have gone a lot worse. Can you explain to me what just happened here? She wants me to give her Larson. Larson? Why would she want him? He's a primogen, remember? A weak one, but still. For a scourge, he's a much more valuable target than some no-name Duskborn. And it just so happens that a certain someone might have some dirt on him. He squints, rubbing the bridge of his nose. Fuck it, I'm heading back to the office. And to put my feet up, get some blood flowing to the old noggin. Coming? You nod. Why the hell not? So you make your way towards 5th Ave. You've got a long way ahead of you and a lot of stuff to figure out. Although it's not your first visit, you still find it hard to navigate the dark, rust-ridden corners of the grain terminal. Luckily, the time you're with someone you could probably do this blindfolded, so you just follow his lead. As you're both climbing the rickety stairs leading to the mezzanine, you only notice light coming from D'Angelo's office. A quick look assures you that no, he did not, in fact, leave it on. You busted the door like Tango and Hooch. It was that turn in cash, ready to unleash holy fury on the intruders. You half expect an Anarch Death Squad or an SI hunting party. Instead, you get Larson, who nearly falls out of the chair when you two bust in. Larson? What the hell are you doing here? What does it look like I'm doing? I'm waiting for you two bozos to show up. Seemingly both intrigued and irritated by the surprise visit, D'Angelo walks over to a cabinet and pulls out a fresh cigar. Now that the clowns have arrived, does His Highness mind telling us what brings them to our merry circus tent? Her. He points at a tiny shadow cowering in the corner of the room. To your astonishment, it turns out to be a very familiar face. The blood. No, not again. Please. How did you find her? Outside my front door. You must have heard of me, found out where I lived. Not uncommon knowledge about the Duskborn. Probably figured I could help, but honestly I have no idea what to do with her. I mean, I should turn her to the prince, but that's just another strike against my people. Then again, I can't just set her loose, not after what she did. Fuck D'Angelo, you can tell that I'm desperate if my first instinct was to come to you. No, Larson, I would attribute the decision to what's left of your common sense. He leans over to you. Hey kid, I think we should call it a night. Just give me some time to talk to the girl. Maybe I'll get through to her somehow. Sign, it's always there. I ain't holding my breath. Honestly, you're glad to leave him to it. Spending the night in a small room with a tiny serial killer somehow doesn't seem too appealing. Still, you're hoping D'Angelo will be alright. Still some tough choices ahead of him. Rest. I don't... Knock, knock. You'd ask who's there, but you don't know if the sheriff of the New York City will play along. When you open the door, you see him toying with the car keys he's holding in his hand. Ready to go, fledgling? You don't feel like it, but you give him a nod nevertheless. Excellent. Stay close. He leads you down to the vehicle he's parked nearby. Once again, he takes the wheel, literally and figuratively. Everything inside is just the way you remember it, down to the rearview mirror reflecting the intense stare of your guide. However, the trip itself feels notably different. The last time Kadir drove you around, he was forcibly dragging you away from your old life. This time he's pulling you back into it. Let me tell you how it's going to go. As I said, I've arranged a meeting between you and your kin. It takes place somewhere you should know very well. I'll watch over you two from a safe distance to make sure you adhere to the rules. You should know those very well, but I'll reiterate just so you can say I didn't warn you. Don't do anything that would violate the Masquerade. Don't establish some secret routines of contact. I will know. Do treat it as the last time you will meet. Take this chance to wrap everything up. Here's your story. You're fine, find yourself at a crossroads, decide to radically change your life, move out of the city. The subway is unbearable, the rent is too high. They've heard it all. However, you wouldn't leave for good without saying farewell to the only person who cared. He gives you a compassionate stare. Gonna leave a scar, boy. The true artist knows there are not something to hide, but to display with pride. You're a fresh corpse. People you meet can still leave a mark on you. One night, a long time from now, you realize you missed collecting the new wounds. The car makes a sudden turn. I'll leave the finer details to you. Just be so kind and don't make me regret it. You can sense he's going out of his way for you, but doesn't try to force you into gratitude by stating it plainly. If you know, you know. He'll see if you are worthy of his aid. We're here. Take a look around and recognize your destination. He was right. It's a familiar place right next to that exhibition space, one where you met your future sire. This is where you saw Emma for the last time. This is where they last saw poor Em, who knows whatever might have happened to him. That's what your sister's trying to find out. It took the liberty of messaging her into your stead. Just up there, waiting for you to come and explain yourself. He turns off the engine and relaxes comfortably in his seat. You silently leave the car and head straight for the exhibition space. The elevator ride up just doesn't seem to end. After what feels like 5 hours, but in reality is closer to 30 seconds, you finally reach your floor. Emma's standing there, looking at the paintings. She's trying to act carefree, but holding onto her bag a little too tightly. When she hears your footsteps, she's startled. Then she sees you and her eyes immediately fill with tears. She runs up to you and gives you a hearty hug. God damn it, Em! God damn it! You stay in her arms silent for a little while. The bonds of blood run deep. This feels right. You're so cold. What happened to you? You look into her eyes and start searching her heart for a lie that would satisfy her, if only a little bit. You can't come up with anything convincing, so you decide to tell her the only truth you're able to share. Em, I want you to know this. I love you. If there was one more person I ever loved, it was you. I've always known all the things you did to save my stupid ass. And I wish I could. She hugs you more tightly in response, but quickly lets you go. She's not satisfied. She wants answers. What happened, Em? Talk to me. All the life-saving work she sent your way, from that concept artist job to this very exhibition. I've been losing my mind. Talked to literally everybody I know to ask when they last saw you was all the time she helped you get your shit together. I've always been honest with you. The least you can do is return the favor. She has, and absolutely deserves to know. But she can't. Kadir is waiting downstairs. Em! Her voice startles you. Your first instinct is to run. And, like the beast you become, trust it. Em? You can't do this. Not now. Not like this. She watches as you, kindred and undying creature of the night, zoom away from her, run into the elevator and press the ground floor button. This might be the last time you ever see each other. At least look into her eyes and force yourself to tell her one last thing. I'll contact you one day and explain everything. She's too stunned to react as the elevator doors close. Slide down the wall, hiding your face in your arms. You find your own priorities disgusting, but what gets you down the most is not the fact that you failed to give closure to the only person you cared about. It's more that you failed to make this farewell beautiful. It makes you feel like a failure of an artist. Even with all this newfound power, you still can't express yourself through the canvas of your life. You're still stuck in your old ways. But you know M. She'll take the pain you've caused her and use it to make art that resonates, sells. What if authentic trauma is the best gift you can find to repay all her generosity? Jesus Christ, you're disgusting. If you consider all those emotions commodities, no wonder you're a failure as an artist. The door's open, better run while she's still up there. Back to Kadir's car. Let's close the door, he instantly puts his foot on the gas pedal. Walking with a pitch of no regrets, said everything you had to say. Kadir sighs. Yeah, that's what I gathered from here. I'll keep an eye on the situation, placate her somehow if she won't stop looking. I've got some well-tested methods, non-violent of course. Gives you a good stare via the rearview mirror. You're an artist, aren't you? Not half-heartedly. So you Vulture people should know that things never work out the way you plan. There'll always be more time to plan, tools that could help you execute it better. Perfection is just an accident. The only thing you can do is give it your best shot given the circumstances, and immediately move on to the next thing. All is said and done, you've got is nothing but narcissism and a waste of time. Sophie, your coterie, those are the materials you've been given, and they're potent ones. Make the best use of them, so that they might create something more beautiful than your artist tools ever did. As a side note, I envy you. I wish I still had someone to make my knees feel like jelly. And when you can't see them anymore, you know they're there keeps you in touch with what you once were. The car speeds up to cross the intersection before the light turns red. You give Kadir a good, hard look. Thanks. It doesn't feel like a, very vampire thing to say, but you say it nevertheless. You're visibly taken aback, and his usually furrowed brow smooths out for a moment. Then he takes on a serious, slightly sorrowful expression. Don't suck up to me, kid. Mr. Bad Guy is still here, and without a doubt, he'll go back to decapitating suckers like you anytime now. The car starts slowing down. You're here. You look out the window and see your haven. Take care. I'll see you around. Just pray I don't have to see you too often. You leave the car and start walking to your haven, thinking about Kadir. Can't say you're fond of him, but what the welcome he's given you and all. But after tonight, you can't say you aren't either. You're gonna need some more time to understand him. That's for sure. Okay. Immediately after you enter the park, you can tell that something is wrong. An odd silence hangs in the air. It's a silence from a choking victim after the fight leaves them. It doesn't take you long to find Tamika. You see her in the distance, leaning against a tree. As you make your way toward her, she puts her finger to her lips. Only then do you notice the blood dripping from her side. You pick her up, letting you in on her. Wow. You pick her up, letting her lean on you. She looks at you, her eyes wild with fear and rage. They're here. The Inquisition. They found us. Raoul, you drew them away, saved my ass. He's still out there. We need to go. We need to help him. You're bleeding out. You're in no shape to mount a rescue. Screw you! I felt the pain makes her almost bend in half. I'm going. barely standing. I won't let you get yourself killed. I'm going. You want to stop me? Might as well kill me now. Through sheer force of will, she managed to straighten herself up. Let's fucking do this. You head deeper into the park. Soon you stumble upon innocuous barriers, service fields, black and yellow caution tape, men in work suits that keep the civilians out of a certain area. It's not at all difficult for a creature of the night to avoid these. You'd almost think that their presence here is accidental, but once you spot Blackfin's deeper in, you get a foreboding feeling. Tamika grabs your shoulder and squeezes hard. Hold up. There. You have to squint to see it. 2 SI scouts are taking tactical positions between the trees. There's no way in hell you'd have noticed them or hit in time if Tamika hadn't alerted you. Body armor, camo, night vision goggles, rifles, and semi-auto shotguns. Some equipment you can't even name. These guys mean business. There's no time. Just getting ready to just pounce on them. Consequences be damned. You need to think fast. Laying on top of your lungs, you rush at the men, force both of them to focus their fire on you. The first one falls before he's able to pull the trigger. The second one takes aim. Suddenly, you realize you might have bit off more than you can chew. Reflexively, you squint, waiting for the bullets to tear through your flesh. You're surprised, no shots are fired. You open your eyes and see Tamika standing over your would-be assailant. She flicks her wrist, sprinkling the grass under her feet with the man's blood. Don't steal my kills. All things considered, she seems to be doing all right. You keep on moving. Tamika gestures at the nearest patch of trees. Stick to the shadows. Take them, one at a time. Sound advice. Dig at the heart as you move on toward Tamika's haven. Doesn't take long for you to run across more of them. For your operatives in full Reich, you are running down a park alley, sweeping the area with barrel-mounted flashlights. Keeping very still and very quiet, you wait for them to approach. Tamika watches from the bushes nearby, clearly waiting to follow your lead. As the first victim marches past, you lunge at him, sinking your teeth in his neck. With one sudden motion, you rip a chunk of flesh from his throat. Quickly, before the other two react, you run at them, full speed. As you're about to take the first one out, Tamika pounces to the side, taking him out in an instant. As soon as she lands, she springs back towards the other one. A single slash of her claws is all it takes. The man's body falls to the ground. After a second or two, his head follows. You raise an eyebrow at Tamika. She heads back with a roguish grin. 2 to 1. No time to savor your victory. A savage yell rings out from across the tree line. You know that voice. Raoul! Tamika throws herself toward where it came from. It's almost unbelievable how fast she moves. Considering the state she's in, you're barely able to keep up. Mere seconds later, you find yourself under the cover of a rose bush, giving you a clearer view of a nearby clearing. Off in the distance, you spot a group of gunmen converging. Slowly but surely, a jingle of hunters closes in on a lone figure struggling on the ground. The figure lets out a pained roar. Looking closely, you realize it's Raoul, caught on the same steel net you saw used against the scarred one. Struggles frantically, trying to break free. With each passing second, step by step, the operatives close in around him. Driven by instinct, Tamika jerks forward to save her brother. She stops herself at the last moment, as if reminded of your presence. Okay, how do we do this? Look, we're taking him alive. We'll find him. We'll get him out. But right now, we don't stand a chance. No, too late. The scarred one. He chokes up, swallowing the pain. You saw what they did. Fine. Just let me take the lead. Don't take any chances. She nods, right, as if she'd listen. You move in like a two-person SWAT team, staying low to the ground before you finally make your first move. The first 2 hunters beat their death. Unfortunately, it's enough for the others to notice your presence. So much for the element of surprise. As 2 men turn towards you with their fingers already on the trigger, another 2 approach you, stabbing at the air with their cattle prods. Prioritizing long-range attackers, you make quick work of them, slashing both of their throats before they can fire. Meanwhile, Tamika does her shares. She swiftly avoids the cattle prods and moves in for the kill. 4 bodies hit the ground. 2 vampires are still standing. Both turn toward the last remaining foe. Driven by sheer desperation, the sole surviving soldier stands over Raoul and aims a semi-automatic shotgun at his head. Tamika growls. You gesture at her to stand down. There's no room for mistakes here. Listen to me. You let him go and we let you live. It's that simple. Shaking hands, the gunman looks at you, then Tamika, as if warning you not to come any closer. It's mostly for show. He's fucked and he knows it. You notice the man's grip loosen, clinging to hope. He's seconds away from giving up. 3, 2, 1. Suddenly, Raoul springs up, grabbing the man's gun. As he struggles, you and Tamika lunge towards the gunman. A shot rings out. Raoul's body collapses under the weight of the steel net, his head a gaping hole. The operative looks at you, startled and confused. His eyes widen and see Tamika fly towards him. Death incarnate. The man screams echo across the park. She doesn't stop. Not when his intestines are spread on the grass. Not when his eyes turn to bloody holes. Not when his face turns to mush. Only when the screaming stops. Only when it is certain he has met his cruel end. Only then does she stop. You watch in silence as she walks over to what is left of her brother. Falling to her knees, Tamika lets out a yell unlike any you've ever heard, as if she's been possessed by some wailing spirit, a banshee screaming out into the sky. The scream echoes across the clearing until, finally, it all goes quiet. Tears streaming down her face, she looks up at you. It's my fault. I put this in their sights. If it wasn't for me, he'd still... Clenching her fist, she points to the ground in frustration. Fuck! It was his choice as well. He wasn't a child. He knew what could happen. She bows her head, pressing his chin into her chest. It's like she's processing what you just said, coming to terms with it. Finally, she looks up and gets back on her feet. She seems to have shed her despair, at least for the time being. Let's get out of here. Hastily, yet carefully, you make your way out of the park. Most stop until you reach a nearby alleyway. There, in the relative safety of the surrounding darkness, take a moment to rest. Leaning against the wall, Tamika presses her hand into her wound. Running off the pain, she looks up at you. Let's split up. Less attention. Hunters, spotters on the rooftop. I'm not going anywhere. I need to get you patched up. I know a guy. We'll be fine. When it's time to fold, you nod and head toward the far end of the alley. After several steps to look back to see how Tamika's doing, you smile, noting her absence. Having managed to pass a couple of blocks without incident, you thank her lucky stars and blend into the nightly New York crowd. Ooh. Hopefully Tamika's made it as well. Okay. Alright. Time to go see what he's up to. You can tell I was sort of not even bothered with these at all. As you make your way up the stairs, you notice that D'Angelo's office is surprisingly quiet. You were half expecting something akin to a scene from The Exorcist. Santa belching out curses and your companion sprinkling her with, well, whatever it is vampires use for holy water. Waiting to witness instead as you open the door is the picture of Serenity. The girl, although still curled up in the corner, is sitting calmly with her eyes fixed on the pages of some pulpy detective novel. She doesn't even register your presence. Sitting behind his desk, D'Angelo seems to be looking over some files, puffing on his usual brand of cigar. There's no trace of larceny, you assume he must have gone back to his family. Noticing your presence, the vampire detective leans back in his chair and gives you a tired look. Hey there, kid. Glad you can make it. Is she reading? I'm surprised she actually has to focus on a book. She's not dumb, you know, just really fucking scattered. We gotta give her something to focus on. Seems to be working. Calmed her down, at the very least. As to how much she's actually getting out of the riveting narrative, your guess is as good as mine. Anyway, I've been going over the case files, mulling over our options. Surprise, surprise, they all suck donkey dick. Right there, that's a line. They all suck donkey dick. No matter how we go about this, someone gets fucked over. Her, Larson, us. Wait, did you say case files? We have those? Hey, say what you want about me, but I take my work seriously. And as my faithful assistant, you should too. So here's what we can do. 1. We grab Santa and take her to Elysium and make a case for her to Prince Panhard. 2. We get Valerie to back off by feeding her the dirt I got on Larson. 3. Try to get Santa out of the city. Come on, kid, I can hear them thoughts bounce around your head from over here. Out with it. You want to bring Santa to Elysium? Isn't that pretty much a death sentence? Pretty much. But not quite. We can get an audience with Panhard, we might be able to convince her to spare Santa's life. Prince is as much of a hard ass as some would like her to be. She'd probably rather avoid further alienating the Duskborn community. That said, if we run into Kadir, we're as good as fucked. Assuming we can get her out of the city, what makes you think she won't kill again? Hey, I ain't just gonna let her loose on another state and forget about it. Got some people up north, people I can trust. Might be able to help her. At the very least, keep her safe and make sure she doesn't do anything stupid. Okay, time's wasting. What do you think we should do? Wait, you're letting me make the call? Look, kid, I've been at it all day, mulling it over. Pause the game. Hey, honey. Hello? Go ahead, close her and they'll try it right now. Well, if you've been there for a few minutes, I mean, it's gonna be probably another 10 minutes before I can get them out. I already got gas, so I just have to run to the store after I'm done. Oh. Oh boy. Oh, alright. Okay. Yep, I'll call you if I have any questions. Yeah. Doing one. Alright, resuming in 3, 2, 1. Look, kid, I've been at it all day. Mulling it over, and all I got from my trouble was a splitting headache. I just don't know anymore. All I'm asking for you is your honest opinion. Just pick one and make a case. Convince me it's the right thing to do, or the least wrong, at least. So one more time. Bring the girl to Elysium, trade a life for Larson's, or sneak her out of town. Which one would you go with? Okay. Let's try to get her out. Maybe we can put her on a train without anyone noticing. Maybe we can get her some help when she's out of harm's way. That's a lot of maybes. What if we get caught? What if a fit comes over her on the way, but she kills again? You willing to live with that? I guess that better be. So be it. Fuck. Do me a favor, kid. Watch her for a few minutes, okay? I gotta make some arrangements. Make a few calls. He catches himself, looks at you with an expression the funniest of funny guilt. But not like with a phone or anything, because, you know, that would make me a nutty boy, which I'm clearly not. Walks out of the office, though. Through the frosted windows, you can see him instantly go for his clamshell phone. Screw it, doesn't really make a difference at this point. Turn to the girl, who still has her nose in the book. So is that book any good? They usually go for this sort of stuff. It's gonna be cold. Listen from the book and her eyes glaze over. Cold. A shiver runs down your spine. You decide it's best to leave her to her reading and spend the next few minutes in complete silence. Finally, D'Angelo staggers back into the room. Alright, I called in a favor with my friends from up north. Sending someone to get Santa once she's out of the city. All we need to do is get her on a train. She walks over to Santa and crouches beside her, speaking softly, takes the book out of her hand and gently strokes her head. Hey, darling, I need you to listen very carefully. I'm gonna go on a little trip, okay? You need to stay quiet and stay close to me. Can you do that? She squints, trying her best to concentrate, but nods emphatically. Well, alright then. He turns to you and nods as well. Looks like it's go time. The nearby metro station serves as a good starting point for Santa's getaway. Crowded enough to blend in, but not enough to lose sight of the girl. Take the escalator and make your way to the platform. Minutes pass in tense silence as you wait for the train to arrive. Finally, the steel behemoth worms its way into the station. D'Angelo turns to Santa, grabs her by the shoulders to get her attention. Alright, Santa, listen to me very carefully. This train will get you out of the city. A friend of mine will meet you at the last stop. You'll know it's him because he'll say my name. Remember my name? She squints, trying her best to concentrate. D. Angelo. Close enough. Something akin to a smile creeps on her face. It's as close to happy as you've seen her. Gift, not hurt. Angelo returns your smile. You're welcome. And with that, she walks onto the train. She stops for a moment, looks back and gives you one last look of hope. As she disappears among the other passengers, D'Angelo lets out a grunt of relief. Suddenly, you feel a hand on your shoulder, gentle at first. It quickly turns to a vice grip. You look at D'Angelo and notice a hand on his shoulder as well. Don't move a muscle. Having to play it cool for now, you stay perfectly still. As your muscles relax, so does the grip on your shoulder. There we go. Nice and easy. I know I said I wasn't going to do voices, but sometimes the characters just have a certain appearance that makes you automatically do a voice. Like when I'm doing his, I obviously slip into a slight thing. When I didn't do all of them. I do change my voice just a little bit. I can't explain why it happens. Once again, you look over at D'Angelo. He looks ahead with a pained expression on his face. I'm curious, D'Angelo. How exactly did you think this was going to play out? You put the girl on the train, she gets picked up by your Chicago friends, magically gets better. I'm none the wiser. And we all live happily ever after. He tightens his grip on your shoulder and gives you a little shake. At least this one has the excuse of being young and stupid. But you should fucking know better. If you had brought her to me, this would have been over quickly, painlessly. As it stands now, I can't guarantee it. As the wheels of the train start rolling, you notice a familiar silhouette in one of the train windows. Valerie, the scourge smiles at you. She looks sickeningly eager, like a fox who's found its way to the henhouse. She blows you a kiss as the train rolls its way out of the station. Now then, what am I supposed to do with you? You did what was right. Don't expect an apology. When you reach my age fledgling, then it's better to not expect anything. Ever. So here's what's going to happen. You fucked up. Big time. I'm counting this as a one-time make or break strike on both your records. From now on, I'll be my eye on you. If I catch either of you so much as even farting in a way that displeases me, I promise you will not wake up the next night. In the meantime, I fully expect you to make up for this. We're on thin fucking ice. I want you to see some nice twirling and tiptoeing around before I let you back onto firm ground. Limber up, kiddos. You feel the grip on your shoulder loosen. Kadir's hands no longer in your peripheral vision. You turn back. As one would expect, there's no sign of the sheriff anymore. Once more, you turn to D'Angelo. He remains as he was, looking ahead, staring off into space. I killed her. You gave it your all. Sometimes shit just happens. There's nothing you can do. Nice catchphrase, kid. You should have it printed on a t-shirt. A moment of awkward silence ensues. I really thought I could save her, you know? Not really knowing what to say, you lift your hand to pat him on the back. You stop yourself mid-motion. Somehow it doesn't seem like the thing to do. You leave the station and head back to Red Hook. On your way, you keep thinking about Santa and whether now is that moment where Valerie brings her final death. It's not a pleasant journey. Slowly, clumsily, you make your way back to the grain terminal. No words are spoken, no bad jokes made, no monologues muttered, no smiles exchanged. There's only silence and vacant stares. You head up the stairs to D'Angelo's office and you can feel the tension rising. You can tell the moldy sleuth has reached a breaking point. He walks into his office and leans against his cluttered desk. You figure now's a good time standing to break the silence. Are you gonna be okay? The moment you finish your sentence, D'Angelo leans over and sweeps all the stuff off the desk. Notepads, bits of paper, what looks like a cheap imitation of an antique lamp. It all comes crashing to the floor. Doesn't stop there as he grabs the heavy file cabinet and knocks it over. Slowly but surely, the once quiet office turns into a heap of crumpled paper and broken furniture. The tantrum lasts for mere seconds, but as you stand there watching, it feels like forever. Finally, D'Angelo stops and looks up at the ceiling. It's hard to tell if he's had enough or simply run out of stuff to throw around. As he stands there, slowly regaining composure, one of the objects scattered on the floor catches your eye. It's a small paperback novel, the same you saw Santa reading earlier tonight. Must have landed there while D'Angelo was giving the room a royal thrashing. In huge letters, the title on the cover spells Longest Night and Other Stories. A small caption underneath reads, another collection of stories from Gianni D'Angelo's saga. What in the actual fuck? You look over and are immediately drawn to the picture on the back cover. Not for the lack of flaky skin and distorted features, you'd say the guy looks very familiar. The name next to the picture, Reginald Finch. You stand there not even knowing where to start, even if his current state, D'Angelo, whatever his name is, remains one step ahead of you. Yeah, that's me in the picture. Reggie fucking Finch. I haven't seen him in a while. Wasn't planning to. I don't even know who you are anymore. I am what you see, kid. Say what you will, but I wear my heart, amongst other things, on my sleeve. I'm not Reggie Finch in a D'Angelo costume. I am D'Angelo. Reggie Finch. I left that guy by the wayside a long time ago. Honestly, it just sort of happened. Guess it was the only way I can make sense of it all. I mean, once you wake up looking like this, realizing your life and all that you were is gone forever, I really can't blame you for trying to at least make it interesting. I guess to some extent we all put on an act in front of others, make up characters, idealized versions of ourselves. It gives us something to live up to. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still weird, but it's not that weird. D'Angelo. For a moment, he seems to be mulling over what you just told him. Finally, he picks up the ashtray off the floor. Rummaging through the ashes, he finds a mangled, half-finished cigar. He sticks it in his mouth and lights it up, the light is reflecting in the shades. He smiles at you, ever so slightly. Thanks, kid. Tell you what, how about you take the rest of the night off? I need some time to get my shit in order. Time with this office. Some dumb assholes made one hell of a mess of it. Smile and nod. Now it's back. I'll be seeing you. So you leave him to his thoughts. No way to be sure you have a feeling. He's gonna be alright. There. Alright. So. Well, thanks everyone for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell icon, I know right now, if you click the subscribe button, it's going to glow, be all special. You get to see that if you subscribe, and, be notified of additional uploads and stuff like that. So you can keep an eye on this content or other video games that I play or other uploads that I make. It seems right now one of the biggest things going on are the 3 Scary Stories series. If you click subscribe, you'll be notified of when those come out too. All right, so again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.